Thanks so much for joining us on Elevate. I'm your host, Stephanie Mizzi. The challenge for every sales director, meeting planner, and conference executive is to find a speaker that will not only deliver a powerful message, but will also inspire attendees to take action and turn inspiration into results. Today, we're speaking with Randy Taylor, one of the nation's top keynote speakers and leading neuroscience and behavioral change experts. Randy, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Steph. Great to be here.
Now, you've spoken at conferences for most of the top 10 corporations, associations here in the country, but I'm always fascinated to learn about the messenger before the message. So, what brought you into this field?
Sure. So it really, I think, started with my fascination with the power of belief and how confidence or the lack thereof becomes the driver of both success or failure. What is it that allows, one person to create enormous success and leaves the next person, broken and homeless on the streets of Toronto, perhaps? My own start in life, I'm sure, was the impetus for getting into this. I'm someone that grew up in poverty and parent alcoholism and lived on the streets, homeless at age 14. By age 16, I had to quit school. I had to eat. And so I went down to the office to sign out and quit school. They made me sit with the guidance counselor, Mr. Gretzinger. Might have been one of the first men that ever really believed in me. And he tried to talk me out of going for an hour, and he wasn't able to. But I was walking out the door, and he stopped me, and he said, "Randy, I want you to know something." And I said, "What's that?" He said, "I want you to know that where you are now has nothing to do with where you can go."
Wow.
And looking back, I truly believe that those words really started to change my life. I mean, I'll be honest. There were no, angels singing and the clouds didn't part, but those words kept coming back, as I left that day and subsequent days and weeks and months later, that, really planted that question that said, what if he's right? Right? What if I'm not stuck? What if I don't have to stay here? And he was right, not only for me, but also the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that I've spoken to over the years and have shared his words with. Leaving school, you don't go from, a grade 10 dropout to, going to the top. So I started out in manual labor jobs and eventually worked in sales, owned a couple of small businesses. Then at age 28, started a career in broadcasting at the crazy sum of $4.25 an hour. And then over, it's always easy to tell the Coles Notes version, but I mean, all the failures and all the getting knocked down and, pushback and everything else. But over 20 years, was able to make it to the number one radio station in Canada, the CFRB 1010 in Toronto, then hosting my own show on Global Television. And then 21 years ago, leaving to do this, to form Tailor-Made Leadership, providing keynote presentations, training programs, coaching. In addition to that, something that has just long been my fascination, which is the study of neuroscience and how the brain works and how behaviors impact the outcome of our lives. It's become such an important tool for convincing the people that I work with of what they're capable of, because the difference between wanting and having is doing. And so if I'm not able to convince people, if you do this, you get this, well, then nothing happens. And the science is a tremendous tool to be able to show people, listen, this is not open for debate. Here's the science. This is how it works. And so I'm driven every day to work with people to prove to them what they're really capable of, forever fascinated, right? That every one of us really has the ability to choose and to change and to become really anything that we could imagine.
Randy, you've led a fascinating life and you speak on a number of topics, but do you have a central philosophy?
Yeah, I think, absolutely. What my own past experience and this lifetime of study into neuroscience and the science of human behavior has taught me is that every one of us are so capable of so much more than we really understand. Listen, I came up with this years ago. It's on my website that says, look, I'm not the magic man. My job is to hold up the mirror and show you what you're truly capable of, to then grow your belief and grow your confidence until you get to the point where you become what you've absolutely always been capable of, which is magnificent. Something that I think also that I was given in life, probably because of my start, was an absolutely unshakable belief in others. I can stand in a conference room of 3,000 people and see absolute identical potential in every person in the room. I can. I mean, the world tries to pick the winners and losers. Not true. All right. Every one of us has the potential to create or become absolutely anything that they can imagine. I'm also a speaker who's really driven to not simply ramp up the audience and cause them to have that jacuzzi experience, but to also take their own inspiration and turn it into real action when the conference is over.
So, what are some of the topics that you speak on? What are the ones you're most known for?
Okay, so it really, I think if you had to boil it all down into one element, it's human potential and how our ability to alter behavior impacts not only the individual, but the team and the organization as well. We grow organizations one person at a time, and they die one person at a time. So topics range from overcoming impossible on personal development, elevate in the success of intention for people in financial services and insurance professionals. It's a group that I've specialized in working with for over 20 years, growing organizations through teamwork and the power of inclusion, the science of mastering recruitment and retention and managing change, and how to use that really as the fuel of exponential growth.
Is there anything else you bring to the stage with you?
Yes, as I said in the beginning, I'm not just there to create that jacuzzi experience. My goal is to really have audiences implement what they have learned. And so as an added element to my work, I've created something called the Impact System, where all attendees receive a complete overview and detailed action steps of everything that was covered in the keynote, allowing the possibility also of ongoing follow-up and support to all attendees. You can ask me about that if you reach out. I want really all audience members to be able to take what they learn and not just have a fun day, water cooler conversation, but apply it and use it.
Sounds like a fantastic opportunity, Randy. Great advice once again. So thank you so very much for taking the time to speak with us today, Randy Taylor. If you're interested in setting up a meeting with Randy, we will list his contact information in the page below. Thank you again for joining us on Elevate today. I'm your host, Stephanie Mizzi.